Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Dina. I am on the ocean, Pacific Ocean, headed to our next port of call. And it will be our last port of call tomorrow before we land 2 days later in LA. So it's winding down as much as I hate that. But you know what? I miss Coco. I can't wait to get home and see her. I got precious pictures of her today. Just made me almost want to cry. Anyway, I just want to scoop her up. So today I was stitching in the group this morning to the Bringo prompt for today on the 13th of January, and it was number 10 that was called, and it was to stitch on your favorite whip. Well, I looked at what I had with me, and I think the easy way to pick a favorite right now was my birthday start because it was my most recent start of something I've been waiting to do. And of course, it was Teresa Kogate's Let Love Rain. And when I showed up with this today, oh my goodness, the ladies had a fit. They wanted to see what I was working on, so I had to show them the beautiful sampler that it hopefully will be when I'm done with it. I did a left corner start, and I had come over here and done part of the border in this little tiny piece in the middle. Hadn't even gotten to the flower yet, just the border over that next flower. I had stitched the first flower in the corner, so today my goal was to stitch the second flower in the border right here. So that's what I did, and that was 267 stitches. I am stitching this with the Vicki Clayton silks. I have those in little bags, and I went ahead and bought 2 sets because I am doing it 2/1. That's my favorite, and that's what I did. So I have 2 of each one. Or double whatever was called for. If they called for more than one, then I got double whatever they called for. So this one, Sea Holly, was one of the ones that I had to get. It came with more than 2 when I doubled it. I think that was the only one that I had to get extras. So there you have it. I made progress on it. This is on Grandma's slip, which is a beautiful old crusty fabric. But let me tell you something. It is fuzzy. It's an even weave, but let me tell you, it feels like raw linen. It is very fuzzy. And today I had on black knit pants, kind of a knitty, stretchy fabric, and I got fuzz all over them. So I came home when I got my shower today, and for the rest of the day, got all dressed up. I put on jeans, so I'm gonna have to wash those breeches. Anyway, that's my stitching this morning. I have a fabulous piece of news for you. I may have shared this in my little clip last night. I can't remember because it was late, but they are doing a repeat of the cross stitch craft at sea today at 3 o'clock, and that means that I get a second chance at it. And talking with the ladies in the stitching group today, I found out that they open the doors 30 minutes ahead for you to sign up. So I'm going to be down there a little before that, and I'm going to start lining up outside the door if they won't let me in. I want to be one of the first ones to sign in. I don't want to get there and be number 25 again. That was disheartening. Plus, I don't even know if there were people ahead of me that had already left, but I do know I didn't get to go, and I didn't get to make the craft, and it's supposed to be a cross-stitch pendant. I don't know what's on the pendant, but I'm going to go check it out, and it'll just be fun to be able to do that as a sea craft with other stitchers. So, once again, here's my progress on Let Love Rain. Just another 267 stitches, but it did finish that little flower, and so I can start going on across with the border next time. I hope you're having a great stitching week. I hope you're really enjoying what you're working on. I have had so much fun doing these Bringo prompts because it's afforded me the opportunity to stitch on almost everything that I have brought with me, which is great. The ladies at the stitching group now, the first thing they say when they walk in is, "Oh, do you have something new again today? We got to see it." I think I've taken all but two, maybe, or maybe it's only one left that they haven't seen, but they think it's fascinating that I stitch on something different every day. I explained about Bringo, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot of knitting conversation, some new techniques and things, so that if I ever take up knitting, I hope I remember all of that, because the majority of the ladies there do knit. I think the only one, or maybe two of us, that don't. So that tends to be somewhat the majority of the conversation. But it's still quite fun and it's still quite inclusive. They're not making us feel bad at all. So that's awesome. I'm enjoying that. And today we had a lady walk by the room and she came in and she said, "I have found my people." She didn't know anything about the group. She didn't know they had a group like that. It's her first cruise. So she hadn't brought anything to work on. But she realized that we were her people, and she said that her next cruise she will come prepared, and she will find the knitters and natters. So I think that's great. I'm glad she learned about that, and we did invite her to come and just sit and visit with us. I don't know if she will or not, but I think that would be great fun to get to know her too. Well, enjoy your stitching. I am gonna get off of here so I can finish getting ready to go to the crafting at sea, because I definitely want a chance at that pendant today. I'll let you know how that goes. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is still January 13th, and I wanted to come on here and let you know I did get into the sea crafting class today. My husband shocked me, really shocked me. And he came right down there and signed up as well and took the class with me. First time we've ever cross stitched together. That was so funny. Anyway, this is what the kit looks like that we were given to get started. You see, it's put together for Princess. And it comes with the floss, your wooden piece to stitch on, your needle, your needle threader, and a chain to put your little necklace on when you get finished. This is my husband's kit. You can see he actually did stitch some on the heart. I stitched on it, and it was interesting to me. The young lady who was teaching the class is self-taught and has just recently taught herself to cross stitch so she could teach this class. And she was asking for all sorts of advice from those of us who did cross stitch. And so today I was able to show her how to do a loop start to get started so that there are no knots on the back, just the bordello stitches to run your threads under. But this is my pendant that I made. I actually back stitched mine as well on the kit. They don't tell you to do that, and I thought it looked too open and raw. So I batch stitched mine because we had plenty of floss. And then I just put it on the chain so you could see what it was supposed to look like. Now, it's a little wooden piece. It's really cute, and I would probably take this off the chain when I get home, and I'll probably use it either as a project bag pull or put it on like a scissor fob kind of thing, but it is pretty large, so it'd probably be better as a project tag pull. But anyway, very cute. The funny story is this: there are only 24 spots. I don't know why they've decided there's only 24 spots. Maybe they can only give away 24 kits at a time because you don't pay for the class, but they give you these kits. So you go in 30 minutes in advance. They put out a sign-up sheet, and you get to sign up and wait there for the class. Well, they also tell you on the sheet itself, and they announce it in the classes, if you have already done one of these cross-stitch crafts at sea, then the next time they do a cross-stitch craft at sea, they will ask you to step aside and let the new people who haven't had an opportunity to get in the class first. And then if there are openings, you can do the next class because they do different patterns. The last time they did this, I guess last week, the one I tried to get in on was an anchor, which is the one my husband really wanted. He was going to put it, I think, on his luggage or something. Anyway, there was a lady there today who had come in early, signed up early on the list, made it in the top 24 people. We wound up having 28 people wanting to take the class, and so the instructor actually went through her list from the prior week and the list from today, and there were 2 or 3 people that had been there the week before, and she asked them if they would please allow that. She told them, she didn't ask them, she told them, I'm taking your spot for someone new who's never been in it before, and we'll do it again next, she said we may do it again because we've got 2 more sea days before the cruise is over. And she said, and you can try to sign up then. Well, 2 of them very politely left and said, okay, we'll try to catch you next time. One lady didn't volunteer to leave. And when the lady that was teaching the class called her out and said, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to give your spot to somebody else because you were here just last week, she got really mad. She told her off and left. Well, she didn't just tell her off and leave. She went to the cruise director and complained to him. And he shows up at the class. And as soon as Georgia had finished talking with everybody about how to get them started, he pulled her to the side and asked her what had happened because the lady had gone to him and complained. So I will tell you, it's not clear when you look on the system. You think you're signing up for the class just like I did last week, and you don't know till you get there and can't get in that it's really, Georgia can't see your bookmarking of where you've bookmarked you want to be there. It's not a registration system. It's strictly a reminder system for yourself, and she can't see what you've put in there. So it can't hold you a spot because she doesn't know about you at all. So it's not a clear process. It needs some improvement. And today that lady was really mad. And I'm thinking, you're that angry over a simple little piece of cross stitch. That's amazing. But anyway, I was disappointed last week because I had looked forward to it, thinking I would meet other cross stitchers. And today what I did is I did meet some people who were trying out cross stitch for the first time. And I met some people who used to stitch who came because they wanted to just make the craft, because it was a time filler for them. But I didn't meet any avid cross stitchers. I didn't meet anybody who's actively a stitcher today. So that's okay. I probably didn't miss anything last week anyway. But that was funny. So anyway, I've been to the class. I finished my piece. I sat right there and finished it. At the table, we were at the Crown Grill restaurant in the back, and they had all these beautiful tables with linen tablecloths for us to use. And so I sat right there, and my husband sat right there with me until I finished mine, and then he said he was done. He's teasing me, saying he may finish it later tonight. I doubt he will. And I asked him what possessed him to go to cross-stitch class with me, and he said he just wanted to do it with me one time while we were traveling, which I thought was really sweet. But I did get to go, and I'm glad I got to share the kit with you. So now what I'm going to work on is it is a Whip Go weekend this weekend. And that means you pull out any of your Whip Go called pieces and you try to get some extra work on them for the weekend. And so today, since I have finished my stitches for my Bringo prompt, and I don't have my whips with me for the other challenges this week, I'm going to work on my Whip Go weekend. So that came in at perfect timing for me. So I have picked up my For Unto Us piece, and I'm going to be working some extra stitching on it today. And I will either share it with you later this evening or I'll share it with you tomorrow. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. It is the 14th. It's Saturday, and I have been working on my Bringo piece that's supposed to be someone that reminds you of where you live. Well, I live near a lake. We're not on the lake, but we have a lake in our community. And also, I live in my craft room. So I am a needlesmith because it has a lake over in the background, and it also references the fact that this person, does a lot of needlecraft. And so that's kind of where I live, both in my crafting and in my physical location. So I decided to pull this one out. And as it turned out, in addition to my Bringo um, prompt, I had the privilege of writing a challenge for the Daily 30 group, and it's called Land of Lakes. And one of the prompts was to stitch on something with a lake or with a body of water. And another prompt was to stitch on something that reminds you of near the land around where you live. And I wrote that before I saw the thing in Bringo. So we had like-minded suggestions. But this is one of those prompts in the Daily 30 group that required 300 as a minimum or 400 as a maximum stitches for the points. And so I just wanted to stitch on this piece as long as I could because I'm enjoying it so much. So I hit one prop at 402 stitches. And when I did that, I went ahead and filled out my Bringo as well because that's more than 100 stitches, so it met that. Then I kept stitching, and I kept stitching until I hit 662 stitches because I had a goal. I wanted to hit the page break, and I wanted to complete the first page. So I did. So here's where I'm at. Isn't this beautiful? I just love these colors. So the page break, just to give you a point of reference, is right where that plant stem stops. So anything below that stitch is below the page break. So in most cases, all the way across, in most cases, I have gone below the page with that color to either like finish off the house or finish this color, just finish this block of stitching. Because I was just doing that last night. My husband was watching a movie here in the room, and our clocks were rolled back an hour, so we got an extra hour last night, and I just used it to stitch. So yesterday's total is actually 1,064 stitches on this beautiful piece right here. But it got me to the page break. I'm so excited. So now I have the bottom to do. I have one page left of this pattern, and I'll be finished with this one. So hopefully I'll be able to finish it this year. That would be my goal anyway, to have a finish this year. I don't even know if I put this in my year of whips. I'll have to go look. I have put my album up. I've got that up because I knew I wouldn't have time to do it before I got back, or after I got back before the deadline. So I went ahead and did it before I left town. So it's been a while since I looked at it. I'll have to go look and see if this is one of them. But I certainly pushed it forward. Very happy about that. So I will tell you this, in case you noticed it in the film. I don't know if it's moving or not. I hope not. But we've encountered a bit of weather today. Our captain has come on the speaker yesterday and today warning us about it. And they were able to find us another route closer to shore for part of the day. And so our waves are only around 3 feet right now. So you can feel it a little bit, but not bad. Every now and then you feel, ooh, there's a little rock. But by 5 o'clock tonight, we are supposed to have swells that are 3 meters tall. That's what, about
12 feet or so, 9 feet, and I don't know. 3 to 4 meters, they said. So we've calculated up about around 9 to 12 feet waves. So I think we're going to feel those. And of course, it's going to hit us right at dinner. Oh, I'm worried about some of the passengers getting sick. But anyway, hopefully we won't. Tonight is a formal night, and we've looked at the menu, and they're having duck fixed, I think, 4 or 5 different ways, and they have lobster and steak. And I'm thinking, oh, that would be awful to eat such good food and then get ill. That would be terrible. I hope everybody does okay. Well, our trip's coming to an end. We have today, and we have tomorrow all day. And then Tuesday morning, we are in port bright and early. And first thing Wednesday morning, my husband will go pick up Coco. I cannot describe to you how much I have missed my puppy. I cannot. I can't even hardly talk about it. I have missed her so much. I get pictures of her every day, and that has helped. That has helped a lot because she's playing and she's got puppies to play with, and that's awesome. So I'll have footage of her doing that. I am, had said yesterday, I think, that the Bringo call for today, number 20, is a Whipper New Start that's sparkly. And my 2 pieces that I came up with that could be sparkly are both at home. I had planned on bringing one of them until I realized that both of my sparkly pieces are on roller frame. So I'm not going to bring any roller frames with me. And that means that's one I'll have to catch up when I get home. So far, out of 20, there are 2 I have to wait on until I get home. One is the magazine New Start, because I didn't have it kitted up with me. And the second one now is the sparkly one. And I actually think those are the only 2 I won't be able to work on something, to meet for tomorrow. And I'll probably won't even try to do the one for the day we travel until I get home. So, because that just would be too hard. Anyway, it's been great, and it has fascinated the ladies in the Knitters and Natters group, because I've come down there with something new every day until today. And today I decided to work on my WhipGo pieces because it's a WhipGo weekend. And since I couldn't work on my Bringo pieces, I pulled back out my 2 WhipGo pieces I brought with me that were the New Starts. And I'm working on those to put some extra stitches in them. So today I am stitching on my March wordplay. So we'll see how that goes. I hope you're having a great time stitching. I hope that you enjoy this video when I put together the video of the traveling, and hope that you will appreciate it and see something that might trigger a desire in you to go somewhere. If you're ever thinking about taking a Panama Canal cruise to go through the canal, I encourage you to do it. It has been fascinating. It really has. Anyway, happy stitching until we talk again. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Sunday, the 15th of January, and we have started sailing toward LA, so our cruise is coming to a close in a couple of days. It's our 3rd formal night tonight, so we are about to leave to go to dinner in a few minutes. I wanted to take a moment and let you know what I've been stitching on today. Our prompt for today was to stitch on something that was sparkly, and my sparkly projects are at home. So I'll wait and do that one when I get home. But it's a WhipGo weekend, so I have already worked on one of my WhipGo projects, which was the For Unto Us, and got some more stitching done on it. And today I picked up the March wordplay. And I started working on it. So I had gotten down to the Out Like a Lamb before. So today I added this little row here of flowers and another little lamb. This row here of vine, and then the words at the bottom, crocus bloom. So now this side is complete. And I'll come over here the next time I pick it up. The word spring goes up and down right here. And then you have the rest of the motifs to the corner here. And that should take probably another one or two stitching sessions to finish. But this could very well be a finish in the month of January if I get to use it as a prompt again. But I just wanted to share it with you and let you see what I've been working on today. It was a good stitching day today. Started with my stitching group this morning and then continued to stitch after lunch here in the room. So that was wonderful, wonderful time. We're going to try to get pictures made this evening, and there's a huge deck party, but I don't think we're going to that. We have rough seas today, and we just heard from our captain that we're going to have rough seas all the way to LA. So I'm hoping that we do okay with that, and my husband and I don't get sick. I think we'll be fine, but we're about to have our last formal night dinner, and then the rest of the cruise will be over before you know it. It's been a great trip, and I thank you for coming along on it with me. Happy stitching, everybody. Welcome, everyone. It is the 18th of January, and we're home. You can probably tell that I'm back in my stitching room. We had a fabulous time, just an absolutely fabulous time. And I'm trying to record this little video here just to kind of wrap up the trip part and say we're home, the trip was wonderful, and you know, now we're back. And so I'll tell you a little wrap up to the travel videos. I had so much wonderful footage between my husband and I got to stitch so much on the trip that I just didn't want to put it all in one video because it would be so long. I felt like you might enjoy it a little bit better if I broke it up into 2 to 3 videos, and it turned out to be 3, as you now know. But we had a fabulous time. All of the activities that we did, we thoroughly enjoyed. And
I was amazed at how much time I got to stitch. Having almost between every port, we had sea days, most of the time too. And so there was, nothing else to do on the boat other than trivia games or, going to lectures or, going to the library or getting in on somebody's card game or stitching, which I did. So got a lot of stitching in, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. Sorry that the number of projects were kind of limited to what you're used to seeing, but I had to stitch with what I had, with me, which were the things on my Q-snaps. Couldn't take my roller frames with me. So I thought what I would do today is kind of wrap up where we are now. What's going to be my focus now that I'm home, and where do I start? Where do I pick everything back up? So today I did a little analysis, and I made a list called Catching Up, and I listed on it all the things I needed to do and what it was for. So for my Bringo board, which I have here, I've been coloring in the ones I've completed, and I just completed this one right here. So guess what? I have a bingo. I'm so excited. But it was today's prompt to stitch on a whip that you dread, and we'll discuss that in a minute. But when I got home, I pulled out my Bringo board, and I thought, okay, first thing on the list has to be my magazine New Start, because I couldn't do it while we were away, and it was the first thing called. And then I also could not stitch on anything sparkly because I didn't have any whip with me that had any kind of sparkle in the fabric or sparkle in the threads, or even I had one thing that was going to use beads, and unfortunately I didn't have a beading needle with me, and I wound up not being able to do the beading, so that wouldn't have worked anyway. But I made this list. So here's what I'm doing. I have completed the 2 Whip Go calls, one on each board, that were new starts, because neither of them said they had to be finished. They said I needed 5 hours, and I did more than 5 hours on both of them. So I'm very happy with that. I've penciled them blue on each one. This one's, I've colored the green, which was to go. You can stitch on it. It's been called. I've colored that one blue because I've done it. And now I've colored this one blue because I've done it. So that means I've got 2 Whip Go calls yet, the 2 green ones, to work on. And they are Autumn Belle Pull and Mermaid. So they had to go on my list as well. So I've gone through all of my prompts. I've gone through all my acrostics and everything. And I've made my list of what I need to stitch. And I had 11 items on my list. I've done 1 today, so that means I have 10 items on my list. And as luck would have it, it's a 24 hours of cross stitch marathon coming up. And so whatever I haven't caught up on by the marathon, I'm going to make an effort to work off of this list for my marathon stitching. That's what I'm going to do. So I mentioned that today's call was to stitch on a whip that you dread. And I do dread working on this one, but not because I don't like it. I really, really like it. I like what I'm going to make out of it. But I don't particularly love linen because I like my stitches very even. And I don't particularly love a lot of confetti, and this has both. So I'm talking about Mr. Mittens. He's up there in the top corner. He's the snowman dressed as a clown, and he is a gift. And so I decided he's the one that I dread the most because of the fabric and because of all the confetti. And I pulled him out today, and I had to do 100 stitches in him for Bringo. So I decided I would come down here and work more on the checkerboard pants. And I grabbed the darker purple, and I actually did 107 stitches. And I got that completed. So I've crossed it off my list that was on my list of 11 items. And you can see I've crossed it off. I've done that one. And now I need to just go in and post it on my WhipGo board in the Facebook group, to show that I've accomplished that one. And then I can move on and do some more things. So I will tell you that we arrived home last night, late last night. We actually had to vacate our stateroom by 8:30 in the morning. They had us off the boat by 9. We got on a bus. We were bussed over to the airport. We got to the airport about 2 hours ahead of our flight, which was wonderful. We actually got to have lunch. We got on the plane. There was a little bit of a delay getting off the tarmac, just because it was busy, just really busy at LAX. And then we had a great tailwind coming into Atlanta. We got in earlier than expected, but the problem was our gate was occupied. We had to just sit on the tarmac again just to wait to get to the gate. So we finally got allowed into the gate. We got our luggage without any trouble, and then my husband and I had elected to ride our MARTA train into the airport instead of driving it and parking and paying to park. And we had a friend who agreed, or offered actually, to take us to the MARTA station when we left and to pick us up when we got home. So we were texting him and letting him know where we were in our travels, and we got on the train. And we knew this going in, that we were going to be arriving late enough that one train would not take us all the way to where we needed to be. So we did have to change trains. So we rode the one train a little over halfway. I had to get off at that train connection and wait for a train going the rest of the way. Fortunately, it wasn't very bad, about 9 or 10 minutes. And we got on that train and we finished the trek. Our friend was waiting on us. And then we had about a 45-minute drive to his house where we dropped him off because he was driving our car for us. And then we came on home. It was a smooth travel, but it was a long day. We left our stateroom at 8:30 in the morning and we got home at 11:30 at night. That same night, but 11:30. And part of that was time change, obviously. But we got here and the clock says 11:30, but our bodies don't think that because we're on a different clock. We have been on a different, several different time zones between when we left and when we got home. So my husband and I couldn't go to sleep. We couldn't sleep. So we were up till about 2 o'clock this morning, 2:30, something like that. And I was wide awake. So I went ahead and that's when I put together the first video on the trip that carried through, I think, day 5, through the Panama Canal, the actual going through the canal. And then I took the middle section of our trip and I basically just added in the clips together until I had, a good stopping point. And then I went ahead and put that one up. And so this is the final one about the trip, unless I get some kind of question or something. But I just wanted to video this to say we're home, we're safe and sound. We had no difficulty. Lovely trip and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I have a funny story to tell you about Coco. Every time we take her to our dog sitters, their dog Fred, as you have come to know, the border collie, is so excited to see Coco, and Coco is so excited to see Fred. And so Coco gets excited in the car on the way there. As soon as we turn on their street, they have a unpaved road, and then their driveway is like crush and run gravel. She can hear or feel the difference, and the minute we turn on Fred's road, she knows where she is, and she starts getting all excited. I've put a video of her, with her whimpering and barking and everything because she's so happy. Well, the funny thing is now, when we went to get her, and my husband went to get her, she was so excited to see him. She did her usual twirl, 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 and, get excited. And when she got in the truck, she jumped right in the truck. She didn't even want to go back and say bye, see you later. She was coming home with Daddy. And he said they pulled into our neighborhood, and when she realized where she was in our neighborhood, she started doing the same excited, whimpering, carrying on, whining, almost crying, with pure joy that she was home. She's never done that before, ever. Even on our other trips and things when we bring her home in the neighborhood, she would look around like, oh yeah, I think I know where I'm at. But she had never reacted that way. So when she got to the house, I was at the hairdresser's getting my hair cut and colored, and they came home right as I was driving home. I wasn't quite here yet. And my husband said they hit that door, and she went flying up here to the sewing room, expecting to find me here. And I wasn't home. And she was so sad. It was so sweet. So I came in right behind them. So when I walked in the back door, she came flying. And she spun and spun and spun around, and I'm loving on her and petting her and almost crying. I missed that little puppy so much. It was really ridiculous, but I think you understand. She's my baby, and I really, really missed her. And I actually told my husband today, I said, don't ask me about traveling anytime soon, because I would tell you no. I'm not leaving her again. Not for a long, long time. Because I missed her so bad. But anyway, she's here. She's doing great. We have had a great day today. I got to take her for a walk this morning. My husband had an appointment, and he was gone most of the morning. And so she and I got to go out for a nice long walk. And she just had the best time smelling and, looking at every yard that has a puppy, and she had to leave them a calling card, let them know she'd been there, that kind of thing. So we walked further today than she even normally does, because she was just so excited to be back home, and she had to smell everything. It was wonderful. But anyway, I'm happy to be home. I have unpacked the luggage. I have done my laundry, or at least most of it. And I am feeling like I am a little bit more organized now that I have my list ready. And I've caught up with several friends. I did not have phone service while we were gone. We had no cell service. So I couldn't text anyone, and I couldn't call anyone. So, I could do Facebook Messenger, but that's all I could do. So I tried to keep up with questions on the channel, and I think I did okay with it. I caught up the rest of them this morning when I got up. So I think I'm caught up there. But I just want to thank you so much for your interest in our trip, and, for letting me know how much you enjoy it, and for going along with us on the trip. I really, really hope you've had a good time. I know we did. I hope you did. So I'm going to let you get back to stitching. I'm going to wrap up this video and go ahead and put it up and let the traveling be a wrap. I hope you're having a great week of stitching. I hope that it's going well for you, and I will look forward to sharing lots of stitching with you as I try to catch up. Happy stitching, everybody.